Putin is on a landmark visit to India, attending the 21st Annual India-Russia Summit with Prime Minister Modi, which is taking place after 2019 due to the COVID pandemic. It's also the first in-person meet other than the BRICS Summit in Brazil in 2019.
This is a first physical contact after a comparatively long pause since 2019. And as a matter of fact, this is the first foreign trip by the president of the Russian Federation, which would testify to the importance of our bilateral relationship, to its exclusive nature.
Signing the deal to manufacture AK-203 Kalashnikov assault rifles for the Indian Army remains the highlight of Putin's visit. Over 6 lakh AK-203 rifles will be manufactured under the Make in India initiative. The first 70,000 units will include Russia-made components as technology transfer, and after 32 months, the manufacturing will begin in UP's Amethi. The Russian president is also likely to gift Modi a model of the S-400 air defense system, whose delivery has already begun.
This contract is really a matter of our pride, which would testify to the very special strategic nature of our relationship, despite of any kind of pressure or sanctions. This is true about Russia, and this is true, and this is true about India.
Putin's India visit assumes significance as the Russian president will try to reset their relationship amid a series of recent differences ranging from AFPAC to the Indo-Pacific.
Afghanistan is a matter of our common concern. The two leaders and the two sides would revive their commitment to peaceful and secure Afghanistan, fighting terror and drug trafficking, securing Afghanistan as a predictable place friendly to its neighbors, extending humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan.
Putin's visit is all about further cementing the ties of its old all-weather friend India. Both countries are expected to sign several bilateral agreements in key areas. Putin's visit is all about keeping an old romance alive between Moscow and New Delhi. With Geeta Mohan in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is on a landmark visit to India. Putin has a power-packed schedule today. The president is going to be attending the 21st India-Russia Annual Summit with Prime Minister Modi. The summit could not take place earlier in 2020 because of the pandemic. Ahead of Putin's bilateral meeting, a 2+2 dialogue held in the national capital between Russia and India. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh is holding talks with his Russian counterpart Sergei Shoigu, and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met his counter Sergei Lavrov. Both countries have signed a landmark deal to manufacture over 6 lakh AK-203 assault rifles that will be manufactured in Amethi. Both nations have also extended military cooperation for another decade. Meanwhile, Putin is likely to gift S-400 air missile defense system model to Modi during this visit. Remember, Russia has already begun delivering the lethal air defense system to India.
Our meeting gives us a suitable platform to discuss politico-military issues of mutual interest that are interrelated and cross-cutting. Our discussions today will address the emergence of multipolarity and rebalancing. We look too at the consequences of over-centralized globalization. The COVID-19 pandemic has raised questions about the current model of global affairs, but the long-standing challenges remain even as new ones emerge. Prominent among them are terrorism, violent extremism, and radicalization. The situation in Afghanistan has wider repercussions, including for Central Asia. West Asia or the Middle East continues to present hotspots. Maritime security and safety is another domain of shared concern. We both have a common interest in ASEAN centrality and ASEAN-driven platforms. All in all, there is much to discuss today. I look forward to an open exchange of views that would further strengthen our special and privileged strategic partnership.
I am glad that despite all these challenges, India-Russia defense engagements progressed in an unprecedented manner in recent times. I have had the honor of visiting Moscow twice and Dushanbe once to participate in the celebrations for victory in the Great patriotic war and in 2 rounds of SCO defense ministers meeting. Our officers and troops not only marched shoulder to shoulder with the Russian troops in honor of these fallen in Second World War, but also participated in a substantial manner in major exercises and activities undertaken at Russia's initiatives.
सरकारी आयोग की बैठक हुई मेरे समकक्ष और मैं हमारे बीच विस्तृत चर्चा हुई हमारे सहयोग के बारे में रक्षा के क्षेत्र में और हम आगे के लिए योजनाएं हमने बनाए। मुझे विश्वास है कि जो दोनों देश के जो एजेंसियां हैं वे योगदान करेंगे ताकि हम क्षेत्रीय विश्वास को बढ़ा सकें और वैश्विक स्तर पर सुरक्षा को बढ़ा सकें।
Our Foreign Affairs Editor Geeta Mohan is joining us from the National Capital. Shiv Arur, our Executive Editor, is also with us from the newsroom. First to you, Shiv, the focus of this meet really is going to be on how both the countries' traditional allies are going to look at bolstering their military ties, isn't it?
That's right, Sneha. The military relationship between India and Russia has been an enabling force for decades together, and even amidst the current turmoil, geopolitically speaking, where you've got the pandemic, you've got the rise of China, you've got India and the US coming much closer. Putin's arrival in India is very much being seen as an attempt to reboot these age-old ties between India and Russia. So this is in many ways an old ally who's calling to make sure that this relationship is not allowed to drift and decay. You're absolutely bang on, Sneha, when you say that this is largely about defense and strategic affairs, because we've just seen the inaugural 2+2 dialogue between the defense and foreign ministers of both sides conclude a number of deals, including very, very high-value deals for assault rifles, the S-400 missile systems, which is the largest single defense deal signed by India and Russia so far. The first missile launchers are going to be delivered to India very, very shortly, later this month, as a matter of fact. So that is in many ways the crown jewel of the strategic relationship between both sides. Of course, there are many other facets to the relationship, including energy security, cooperation on counter-terrorism. The rise of the Taliban is a big factor. Checking the rise of China is a very tricky issue because Putin shares a close relationship with Xi Jinping as well. So all of these things are going to be, tricky to navigate, but the personal rapport between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Putin has been a time-tested one. They share a good relationship. There's a lot of positive body language, but we all know that optics is one thing. Actually getting it down to boosting that relationship is another thing altogether. So all eyes on this very brief visit by President Putin. He's about to land in Delhi, Sneha.
Okay, about to land in Delhi amidst complex regional dynamics. Undoubtedly, Geeta, like Shiv was pointing out, on one hand we have America courting India. On the other, we have India's rising tensions with China, a traditional ally of Russia as well, isn't it?
Of how India is trying to balance ties between the United States of America and India and Moscow and New Delhi. The fact of the matter is that it's very strong messaging. Just 2 days from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be seated with President Biden in the Summit for Democracy. And ahead of that, India and Russia are holding their 21st annual summit. Just goes to show that strategic autonomy is paramount for New Delhi, and that is what India is doing. In doing so, acquiring defense equipment, military equipment from Russia is something that New Delhi...
Audio line with Geeta. Geeta will try and reconnect with you once again. Do continue to be with us. We'll just reconnect with you because of that poor audio.